What's going on?
I wanted to comment real quick on what Rush said.
Yes.
And if anyone that has a wife or a sister or daughters or granddaughters, you have to consider the source. Rush is nothing more than an entertainer.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a journalist. You know, he's not a newsman. He's an entertainer shock jock for the conservatives. Okay? Being raised by my mother and two sisters, and both of my sisters, at a very young age, had to have hormone therapy, or otherwise known as the pill, to regulate their cycles. So a large percentage of women have to take that just to balance their hormones. Okay? So for him to say that, that would be, you know, the equivalent of, why do guys have to take erectile dysfunction pills? Do we call them whores? Do we call them sluts for taking the, you know, the little blue pill?
Right.
I don't think so.
Now,
you know?
so are you, you're saying that Rush was in the wrong for bringing this up and
Rush,
calling
I'm not
that.
saying, I mean, he's out to incite the base. And this, and any sort of contraception, any sort of gay marriage, any sort of guns, or any sort of minority, those are the only things that Rush incites the base with. Those are the four things that he uses, because he sure can't talk about the economy, which is growing at a slow pace. He can't talk about our national security. You know, ask 22 of Al-Qaeda's top guys who died of lead poisoning if our security, you know, if our borders are secure. And, you know, President Obama, you know, I'm not a huge fan of him either, but, you know, he's deported more than 700,000 people. That's twice as much as George Bush did in 8 years. So there's a lot of things. But when it comes to attacking women, I'm really offended by it. And he doesn't even know her, and it was totally taken out of context. But that's what he does. He has a lot of listeners. He makes $400 million a year. I don't listen to him. I don't care to listen to him, but anybody can that want to. But when he starts attacking women out of context like that, I feel I have to say something as well.
Absolutely. Great call from those. I couldn't agree more. I don't think that, I guess they were saying, Carney says that Obama believes that Rush's, you know, derailment of her, deride of her, the comments that he were making were unfortunate attacks, which I agree. I think that, you know, you never know what the woman and what her situation is. And for those that are just tuning in, we had a caller, Dave from Highland, kind of briefly saying, really just what's going on with the White House, saying that the President Obama has called a Georgetown law student whose stand on contraception coverage promoted by Rush Limbaugh to ride her as a slut, quoted on her talk show, on his radio talk show. And we were just saying, and Obama was saying that they were unfortunate attacks to call her that Rush had said that Fluke's insistence on wanting contraception made her a slut, quote, and a, quote, prostitute. So I have to agree. I think that once you start attacking them, whether it's a woman or a man, you don't know their situation. But again, we're going to go to another caller on Earl on line 7. Earl, how are you?
Hi. You know, I'm going to tell you, actually, here's my feelings on Mr. Limbaugh.
Yes.
He's nothing more than a person who constantly wants to cause problems between races, between genders, between different people's lifestyles. He is a shock jock of the Republican Party. He is the type of guy that is turning me to more and more vote Democrat, because he has no tolerance for anything but his own way. Now, here's a guy who about a year ago got caught with drugs that he did not have a prescription or was in possession of a prescription for these drugs. And he's booing and crying about that. You know, he's the type of guy that when things are not a rosy picture in his world, everything else is wrong. That lady who he made the comment about being a slut, well, first of all, if you listen to her original statement, there was nothing that would direct. All she was saying in the original statement is that contraceptives should be provided.
Right. She didn't say anything too far out that made her say
No, I don't think anything that But Limbaugh takes things way out of. He's like a lot of the Republicans do. They take it and they twist it and mold it to a venue that they can hack at somebody and hack at the president, hack at Democratic people, hack at women's rights. I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't listened to Rush Limbaugh probably in about 11 years. I would rather listen to Paint Dry.